Hans Daxbeck is Managing Chairman at the Resource Management Agency, the RMA. As speaker at the Vienna Workshop, he offered another case example of corporate support services for resource efficiency in Austria. This agency's expertise is centered around resource efficiency and environmentally friendly projects and processes in companies, regions, and services. It is a spin-off of the University of Technology in Vienna, which focuses on applied sciences. The RMA's field of activity ranges from basic work in its research unit to classical consulting practices in project development and implementation. In consulting, the RMA team supports public institutions, local authorities, and companies in identifying and achieving their sustainability goals. The Resource Management Agency focuses its expertise in 7 different areas: waste management and prevention, sustainable development of cities and regions, sustainable construction, sustainable nutrition, resource management and urban mining, material and energy balances of products, companies, and regions, and ecological footprint and ecological accounting. The construction sector represents 17% of Austria's annual waste generation. InBa is one of the agency's latest projects. It aimed to tackle construction waste by anchoring basic knowledge on waste prevention in the industry's education and training channels. The project's primary focus was on developing teaching materials specifically centered on waste prevention, resource conservation, and sustainability, with a particular emphasis on the construction phase and thus the construction site itself. Using practical examples, the teaching materials aim to show possible waste prevention measures in construction operations, so in planning and choosing building materials or getting procurement, and on the construction site itself, especially when it involved new construction, renovation, or demolition. In order to ensure maximum practical suitability of the teaching materials, experts from a wide range of fields in the construction industry were involved in the project. Therefore, key partners of this project included Vienna's Building Academy, training centers, vocational training teachers, and trainers. Ultimately, the project's output were 3 scripts with adjusted information and details, slide sets, intro lectures, and exercises designed for the training of master builders and foremen, technical colleges, and apprentices. ILMA was another project of the Resource Management Agency. This one tackled the issue of eco-efficiency in the food processing industry. The project's main goal was to analyze, evaluate, and suggest optimization options towards generating byproducts instead of solid waste in the food processing industry. While the amount of waste generated in agriculture and consumption is known, knowledge about food waste and food processing is currently insufficient, and the ILMA project worked towards closing this information gap with regard to the type and quantity of production residues. The hope was that newly acquired knowledge would highlight possibilities for increased waste prevention, with residual organic fractions that are currently being disposed of as waste being fed in as raw materials into other production processes, and thus emerging as byproducts. The aim of the project was to identify potential improvements within production systems through the targeted analysis of individual companies from different sectors. Overall, 3 processing sectors were sampled: meat, milk, fruit, and vegetables. ILMA looked at how different byproducts and residues were and could be reused or reprocessed. For example, utilized byproducts in the meat processing companies account for 10 to 22% of the input. It might also be worth noting, in the case of the meat industry, that a substantial share of byproducts currently disposed of as waste can be attributed to specific legal regulations. Their strategies developed in this way could be transferred throughout the industry. Urban mining was an earlier project of the RMA. It aimed to prevent that materials such as iron, aluminum, copper, and zinc, which are used in the economy, be discarded as waste. The ultimate objective was to keep these materials circulating as production input materials and products in use for as long as possible. Municipalities need a knowledge base for this, about the raw material stock in terms of composition and mass, in order to be able to manage it, with both economic and environmental benefits. To this aim, the project developed a cadaster mapping of Austria's anthropogenic stock, so mapping of existing deposits of iron, aluminum, copper, and zinc, so metals that were already present in urban building and infrastructure. The Urban Mining Cadaster was meant to offer visualization of existing repositories and areas of urban mining potential. Copper, for instance, can be found in a number of elements in the urban landscape, such as water supply pipes, underground cables, telephone lines, and so on. In short, the Urban Mining Cadaster is a mapping tool developed as an instrument of sustainable strategic spatial planning, all in the aim of creating a resource-efficient city.